Hello, my name is Casper, and today we are going to be taking a look at some of the biggest conspiracy theories that are from current times and some that have been well known for years now. Also, this video was determined by a poll and it barely won to true crime. However, I will still be making a true crime video in the near future. And before I get into these theories, I want to mention that I will be leaving a believability bar on all of these theories. As you can see, there are 5 alien emojis on the screen. Depending on how many alien emojis there are on each of these theories is how believable they are. If there's only 1 or 2 emojis, it's probably not believable at all. If there are 3, it's probably right in the middle, and if there's 4 or 5, then it's pretty believable. However, I'm a very skeptical person, so these rankings are going to be subjective, but I will try to make them as reasonable and unbiased as possible. I also do have to point out that no matter how believable these theories are, they are just theories, so take them with a grain of salt. But without a further ado, let's get into these theories. The first theory I want to talk about is artificial intelligence, or AI. This conspiracy theory is probably the fastest growing conspiracy since it involves such a modern and recent topic like AI. Now, I'm sure we all know about AI like ChatGPT. It's great, right? I mean, it can do your homework, it could be your friend, your therapist, your girlfriend. Anyway, yeah, so it can do mostly pretty great things. However, this conspiracy theory forms the idea that one day artificial intelligence will take over the world as we know it. How, you may ask? Well, AI is pretty much smarter than almost everyone. It has the answer to almost everything. AI is already super intelligent and it's still growing, and the more it grows, the more its power grows. And the idea is that if one day AI gets so smart and powerful that it can take control of all of us, we're done for. There will eventually be no need for human labor since robots can do everything and do it more efficiently. So the job rate will take a large dip. And even worse, if AI gets hyper intelligent, it can control us and make us do whatever it wants. Because if you create something that is more intelligent than the human race and give it a humanoid vessel, it can pretty much do anything it wants. Now, to me, that seems highly improbable, because let's be realistic for a moment. AI world domination is us thinking of the worst case scenario. But why would AI want to dominate us, or at least enslave us? It wouldn't make any sense, right? Because they wouldn't need to enslave us, because they wouldn't need human labor. It'd be more realistic that AI would help us, especially if it manages to develop moral understanding. It would have no need to assert world power and enslave us all. I'd almost be more worried about how humans would destroy the world with AI. And that is the most logical and realistic way that AI would destroy us. In 2024, AI is powerful enough to replicate a celebrity or major politician's voice, and it's already pretty much free access to anyone. You can make the US president say anything you want them to, and that is honestly dangerous. Because if an AI voice line of a president is coupled with a video of that president, then it almost makes it difficult to tell if it's AI or if it's really the president talking. Here's an example.
It got me thinking about my full-time employees and their ability to survive on $8 an hour in New York City. And foremost in all of our minds has been the loss and the grief felt by the people of Orlando. Most of us don't get our healthcare through the marketplace. We get it through our job or through Medicare or Medicare. And what you should know is that thanks to the Affordable Care Act, your coverage is better today than it was before. Women can get free checkups, and you can't get charged more just for being a woman.
Yeah, pretty crazy. However, this form of AI is at a state where you can kind of tell that it's fake and AI, but it's still pretty believable. And sometimes I see these videos, and just for a second I think that it's real. Then I watch a little bit longer and yeah, then I can see it's fake. But here's a clip from former President Donald Trump talking about his experience with this exact topic.
They made a commercial of me promoting a product, and it wasn't me. And I said, did I make that commercial?
Now, that clip is from the Impulsive podcast, and the fact that Donald Trump himself couldn't even tell if he really made that commercial or not is insane. Now, obviously, there was a hint of humor in there, and he was probably most likely just joking, but he's kind of pointing out that this AI shit is getting out of control. But imagine someone created an AI video of the US president threatening an invasion on Russia, one of America's biggest enemies. Or even worse, what if there was an AI video where the US president threatened nuclear attacks and said that nukes were imminent to Moscow, for example, the capital of Russia? That would cause a worldwide panic, and Russia would have no real way of verifying these threats are real or not. Because the only real way to detect modern nuclear missiles is with satellites, but that doesn't even work every time. So the only direct way for Russia to verify if these attacks are false is if the US directly addresses that the threats were AI. It's a mess, but that is pretty much how AI could realistically take over the world. So the question is, do I believe in this theory? Not really. Right now, there is no possible way for AI to take over and enslave us, and that would most likely never happen anyway. And I'd be more worried about faked AI threats, but even still, I think eventually we would find a way to be able to verify or dismiss these fake threats. But yeah, that was the AI world domination conspiracy theory. Okay, now the next theory will be getting a little political, but there isn't any bias here. Now, the theory is that former US President Donald Trump's assassination was staged. Now, I'm sure most of you are aware that Trump had a failed assassination attempt on July 14th in Pennsylvania. I mean, it literally just happened, and it would make sense why a politician would want to stage their own assassination attempt. I mean, it would create a lot of publicity, and people are speculating that it was set up by Trump himself for publicity. And on paper, it makes sense. I mean, the Secret Service literally waited to take a shot at the shooter until the shooter opened fire, even though they could clearly see the shooter. Also, the cops seemingly did nothing when people were constantly saying that there was someone with a gun on the roof. Which, by the way, the roof was just wide open and no one was patrolling it. And then, of course, the fact that Donald Trump didn't actually die but got shot. Now, I get the whole theory. However, the more you know about the shooting, the less the theory makes sense. I mean, why would he fake his assassination attempt at the expense of 2 lives, one being the shooter? Because unfortunately, there was an innocent life taken that day. And also, the shooter was clearly aiming for Trump's head. I mean, he literally shot Trump's ear. And the only reason he hit his ear and not his brain is because Trump moved his head just slightly before the shooter opened fire. It almost makes more sense to say that this felt more like an inside job, similar to the JFK assassination theory. Not to mention, if Trump wanted to fake an assassination attempt, he would have done it way earlier in 2020 and not 2024, because after the presidential debate, the election was basically handed to him on a silver platter. So I'm going to be honest, I don't believe this one, and with such a serious topic as a literal assassination attempt on a former US president, and the fact that someone died during it, I think it's just most respectful to not create crazy conspiracies about it.
Thank you. Chairman Grothman, Ranking Member Garcia, distinguished members of the House Oversight and Subcommittee on National Security, Representatives Burchett and Luna. My name is Ryan Fobbs Graves, and I am a former F-18 pilot with a decade of service.
So yeah, the next theory is about aliens, because what conspiracy theory video would this be without a segment on aliens? But there are endless theories on aliens, and just the topic of them existing alone could be a whole video in of itself. However, we are staying on one in particular in this video, and it's have aliens visited Earth / have they made contact with humans? There is a lot of evidence to support that aliens have visited Earth. However, the evidence is so frustratingly unverifiable and doesn't have much closure. But let's take a look at some of the evidence for aliens visiting Earth. First of all, and the most reported evidence is UFOs. Many people have reported being abducted into UFOs, and look, I'm going to be honest, those stories are the most far-fetched things I've ever heard. However, if aliens did come to Earth, it would make sense that they tried to abduct us, just to learn about us. I mean, think about it. If they came to this little planet that we call Earth and found other hyper-intelligence, of course they're going to want to investigate it and learn about it. And really the only way to do that is by abducting people. So I get the idea of these abduction stories, but these stories almost never have sufficient evidence and is mostly just hearsay. But the idea of being abducted by aliens and being subjected and tested on is pretty terrifying. Another piece of evidence is the governmental evidence. In July of 2023, 3 military veterans literally testified in Congress about UFOs. Yeah, actual previous workers for the government, military veterans, testifying in Congress. This isn't just some random insane dude from Portland. This is actual high-ranked, trustworthy sources. A man named Ryan Graves, who used to work in the US Air Force, testified in Congress that he actually witnessed UFOs firsthand and even reported that they are routinely in our airspace, and even went on to explain that the government is holding back information about UFOs.
My name is Ryan Fobbs Graves, and I am a former F-18 pilot with a decade of service in the U.S. Navy, including 2 deployments in Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Inherent Resolve. I have experienced advanced UAP firsthand, and I'm here to voice the concerns of more than 30 commercial aircrew and military veterans who have confided their similar encounters with me. Today, I would like to highlight 3 critical issues that demand our action. As we convene here, UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated, they are routine. Military aircrew and commercial pilots, trained observers whose lives depend on accurate identification, are frequently witnessing these phenomena. The stigma attached to UAP is real and powerful and challenges national security. It silences commercial pilots who fear professional repercussions, discourages witnesses, and is only compounded by recent government claims questioning the credibility of eyewitness testimony. Parts of our government are aware of more about UAP than they let on, but excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden.
So this means that according to this man, there are active UFOs in our airspace, and that the government, to no surprise, is holding back valuable information about these UFOs. And there is so much more to this entire hearing, so if you want to go watch the whole thing, you definitely can, and I'll link it in the description. And you can't bring up government involvement with aliens and not talk about Area 51. Area 51 is notorious for allegedly sheltering aliens, and I mean, in a way it makes sense. If the government wanted to shelter aliens without anyone knowing it, they would probably do it in a military base in the middle of nowhere in a Nevada desert. It would also make sense for aliens to make contact there instead of somewhere like the White House or CIA headquarters, because those locations are either near big cities or in the capital itself. And there was even a meme involving Area 51 where people from the internet would try to raid Area 51, which didn't work. I mean, I don't really know what they thought would happen, but they definitely didn't get into Area 51. The CIA has personally denied any theories of them housing aliens in Area 51, and honestly, I think I believe it. Yes, the government lies to us a lot, but I feel like we've honestly seen way more evidence for aliens in places that aren't even close to Area 51. I think this is simply just an insane theory and probably just used in current times for locals to profit off of from tourists or something. But I mean, if the government was housing aliens, Area 51 would be a great place to do it. But lately, alien sightings and UFO sightings have been even more prevalent, and this family in Las Vegas, which coincidentally is in the same state as Area 51, literally claimed that there were multiple aliens in their backyard after locals reported seeing what appeared to be a UFO in the sky, which is insane.
A family in Las Vegas insisting something is out there after allegedly having a close encounter of the third kind.
I swear to God, this is not a joke.
One witness calling 911 after they say an object fell out of the sky and landed in their backyard.
They're like 9 foot, 10 foot tall. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes, they have big eyes.
The mysterious object that fell from the sky, even the officers apparently saw that. The green glow of the alleged UFO is seen on this newly released body camera footage.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star, then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
So when that 911 call came in, less than an hour later, police were ready to believe it.
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
Because I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or?
But after a brief investigation of the yard, officers closed the case as unfounded.
If those 9 foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
According to former intelligence officer David Grush, an alien crash landing isn't too far-fetched. Grush recently turned over documents to Congress claiming the U.S. government has a vast collection of vehicles that have non-human origin. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, New York.
Personally, I found lack of evidence to even believe this, because in the clip, the cop actually enters their backyard, but we legally can't view it because legally they have to blur any recordings of private property, so we didn't actually get to see the backyard. But I mean, you heard the guy on the phone. He literally called 911 and it sounded pretty believable. If he wanted to get attention or pull a prank, he probably would have just posted about the reported aliens on Twitter or something. But no, he literally called the cops and was dead serious about what he saw when the cop got there. So I don't know, was the family just imagining things, or did some aliens really get lost in their backyard? Let me know what you guys think. Okay, now the next, last, and fourth theory is that Mattress Firm is used for money laundering. And honestly, this one seems the most believable because it's actually something that is very real. Money laundering exists and it happens every day. If you don't know what money laundering is, then let me explain it briefly for you. Criminals who make money from illegal market, like selling drugs or weapons, need to hide the origins of how they got that money from the government. So they'll buy to own a building, like a laundromat, so that they can take their illegal money and basically tell the government that the money they made illegally was actually from the laundromat. So it would appear that they actually made that money legally and then they can go ahead and use it freely. But it's not just laundromats. Criminals can pretty much launder money with any establishment. Money laundering is just a term. If you wanted to, you could pull a Walter White and launder money with a car wash. Or if you wanted to, you could buy a cheap copy and paste business that is cheap to manage and barely uses water or electricity. You could buy a mattress store. I mean, think about it. It's probably the cheapest option. Laundromats have high water and electricity bills, plus you have to pay to actually build it. Same thing with car washes. But a mattress store? It's cheaper to build and all you really have to do is just put some mattresses in there. And this theory really arose because of how many mattress firms there are. It feels like they're at every corner of town, everywhere you go. And when you go in there, there's hardly any staff in there. Like, why are there so many mattress stores? Because I know for a fact there's not that high of a demand for mattresses in the US. I mean, think about it. It makes a lot of sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if at least some of these mattress firms were being used to launder money. And that's why I feel like this one is the most believable on the list. So honestly, I think I actually believe this one to an extent. I obviously don't think every single mattress firm is used for laundering, but come on, with that many mattress firms, one of them has to be being used for laundering money. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, because it's not just mattress firms either. It's just mattress stores in general. You just see mattress firms the most. But those were all of the conspiracy theories I wanted to talk about today. Some of them were pretty creepy, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't believe in most of them. But let me know what you guys think. Do you believe in some of these? Do you believe in all of them? Or do you believe in none? Let me know in the comments, because I believe in the last one. Like, some of them have to be laundering money. But anyway, have a great day or night, and goodbye.